It is also one part of primary memories. But ROM is a died chip. ROM is a chip. Chip means it contains, means while manufacturing ROM chip, they put all the details. Means the circuit itself is telling some instruction. Okay, it's a logical circuit they will design directly. That is a ROM chip. That's it is a permanent memory. But the same ROM chip for every time you cannot manufacture for every requirement, right? For example, I build a one kind of motherboard, different type of program it is. So again, I have to manufacture ROM chip for it. It is very difficult because you know the manufacturing of one chip equal to manufacturing of 1,000 chips. Both are same cost. Okay, both are same cost only. If you want to manufacture a one chip, how much cost you have to spend? Same cost for 1,000 chips, same chips. Okay, or maybe a 1 lakh chips, same cost only, not no cost difference. That is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so what the next people done? Programmable read-only chip means it is an empty chip, so you can able to program it as per your requirement. And the next level, but once you are programming programmable read-only chip, once you program, you cannot able to remove it or you cannot able to rewrite it. So that type of programmable read-only chip it is. So erasable programmable read-only memories came next level. So electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. It is a rewritable, at least for 100 times, 1,000 times rewritable chip it is. Okay, that is EPROM chip. So we are using EPROM chips for our as a ROM chips. Guys, in generally we don't find any ROM chips on your motherboard because the ROM chip is actually we call it as a BIOS chip. So you can see here it is. This is the BIOS chip. This is BIOS. Okay, BIOS means basic input output system. Nowadays, it is we are getting a UEFI type of chipsets, that is Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. This BIOS chip contains firmware or firmware. Only spelling is different. Spelling is same, but firmware or firmware we are telling it is. Okay. What is this firmware? Firmware will tell you when you start your device, how to start. One by one has to be sequentially has to be started, right? Distributing the power, how to distribute the power to the devices, whether devices are working or not. Okay, make sure that device is working or not. What are the devices are connected? What are the devices are there? Okay, and how to load the next instructions. So everything will be told by your firmware only. In our computer, so when you are start your computer, so it will launch a post program. Post is not a any program, it is actually post is a acronym. It means power on self test. Post means power on self test. What is this power on self test? When you have power on your system, power is distributed to all the components and they will test like a power is distributed means automatically BIOS will gather that information. So these devices working, they are getting power means they are working and there is these are the details of these devices. So BIOS gather the information of CPU. This is CPU information, RAM information, disk information like that. Okay. So make sure that so the devices are working and find out their details. And also BIOS will tell how to load operating system. BIOS will tell how to load operating system based on the BIOS boot priority. Means your OS in your hard disk and you inserted a OS hard CD-ROM or a pen drive. So you start your computer. So OS can be loaded from your hard disk, OS can be loaded from your CD-ROM, OS can be loaded from your pen drive. But which device system should check for operating system? That is a boot priority. First device is pen drive. Then it load operating system from pen drive only. Okay. Your the first option is CD-ROM. Second option is pen drive. Third option is hard disk. So when you start a computer and BIOS will tell check the OS from CD-ROM. If CD-ROM contains a operating system, load it. Otherwise, check in the pen drive. So is pen drive contains a operating system, load it. And check from the hard disk. Okay, if hard disk having an operating system, then load it. Okay, so that is a boot priority. Okay, guys. And also it will help, BIOS is also help your operating system to understand this hardware devices. What is the hardware devices on your motherboard or connected devices? Okay, so what is a BIOS, guys? Basic input output system. The new version of BIOS is UEFI, Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. What is this BIOS or UEFI? It is a firmware. Firmware tells how to load system. Very simple. Firmware will tell how to load system, how to boot up the system. Okay, so BIOS at a time of boot up your system, it do post power on self test. Okay, once power on self test completed, okay, so power on self test, meaning is it system test itself all primary components like a CPU, RAM, motherboard, some components are there, those main components is working on that. Okay, another one, it is locate and load operating system. So where is operating system and the loading of operating system kind of stuff. It helps operating system to access hardware devices. Okay, so different BIOS manufacturers are there. Some are BIOS, Hardware BIOS, Phoenix BIOS, HP BIOS, Dell BIOS kind of stuff. In last small lines I given, firmware is a software provided basic machine instructions that allow the hardware to function, communicate with other software running on a device. Firmware provide a low level control of hardware components. Okay, so this is basic points in a BIOS, guys. This is the boot processing. This is about a boot processing. I will tell the boot processing, but this is the BIOS setting. BIOS setting is a hardware setting. So you start your computer and you can go to BIOS immediately. Once your boot up means OS is loaded, you cannot go to BIOS setting directly. So when you start your system, that time only you can go to BIOS settings. This window it is showing a boot priority. So when you start your computer, your BIOS is giving a boot priority. From where to load operating system. So it will check CD-ROM. CD-ROM having an operating system, load it. Otherwise check removal device, means pen drive kind of stuff. Your pen drive contains an operating system, load it. Hard drive. Okay, means hard disk. Okay, hard disk means your operating system in your hard disk, then load it. Network drive means through network you can boot your system. So if in case there is no voice in CD-ROM, pen drive and hard disk, then it will go for a network. It is a boot priority. Check one by one list. This is the screen, guys. It is a main screen of some certain BIOS screen it is. These screens are different from one to another one because of manufacturer of BIOS. Okay, how they created. So not always a same. Guys, this is the BIOS, contains system timing, system date and time. The BIOS is, so you can see system time, system date is there. It means it runs the date and time. Okay, our BIOS also runs date and time. So once you given a date and time, so it will continuously run. So important, remember that one, system date and time. Once you given a date and time, it continuously runs. And also you can see CPU configuration from it. Intel Core i7-4500, and also you can see cache memories of CPU, CPU speed, fixed hard disk 1000 GB means 1 terabyte of hard disk is there, and there is a CD-ROM means DVD writer is also inserted here, and 8 GB RAM is there, and 1600 megahertz means DDR3 model. Okay, it's a 4th generation i7. Okay, so this is the how our BIOS knows my CPU and RAM and hard disk and CD-ROM. So when you start your computer, your BIOS chip will gather these information and store into your BIOS chip only. Okay, so this is one screen. Advanced, security, boot. Boot already I showed first only, and last one is exit. But not always the same screens always. Okay, here the menu is good. Menu is showing like that, but different BIOS having different. Guys, in a BIOS, you can change certain settings. You can enable certain features of a hardware features, CPU features, kind of stuff. Okay, or you can disable certain features. Here it is showing Intel virtualization technology enabled. So nowadays you purchase any laptop or a desktop, by default internally this by Intel virtualization technology is enabled in certain laptops and desktops. Some laptops and desktops by default this Intel virtualization technology is not enabled. It shows in a disable mode. Enable or a disable mode. Okay. If it is showing disable mode, you want to enable it, you have to go to BIOS settings, then go to this option and change. Security. So you can give password to your BIOS. Maybe you are giving a settings like this. Okay, you have a settings, certain information is there, boot priorities are there. Someone is going to change. If anyone want to change your BIOS settings to to protect from others. Okay, to protect it from others. Okay, so from others using, you can set a password. Guys, this is the BIOS password. It is nothing to do with your operating system password. This is hardware level password only, not involved with any operating system password. There is a user password, supervisor password. For example, supervisor password, you know the supervisor password, you enter the supervisor password, so you can change the settings. If you know only user password and you enter the user password, you can see the settings. You cannot change. Okay. Some people think there is a BIOS battery. If you are remove this battery and insert the battery, your operating system password will be clear. Now guys, originally if you remove the battery, every settings of BIOS will be resetted back to factory default along with your BIOS password also. Yeah, no problem. We'll come back to that point. Okay, these are the things about your BIOS settings. But how to go to BIOS setting is why it is missing here. Yeah, here it is. If you want to go to that setting, guys, there is a 2-3 options are there. One is, first of all, shut down your computer or restart your computer. At boot up means you press the power button. Think like this: you press the power button, and immediately, if you look at the screen, see like this, either top or a bottom or a sides, corners, you may find how to go to BIOS settings. BIOS setup or a setup boot menu thing is there. This is showing F2 to go to setup. Another different way also there to go. So from operating system in Windows 10 we have a facility that one. Okay, so we can go like that also. In Windows 10 go to settings, update and security, recovery, advanced, and then if system will be going to already it is off of your system, means it's out of your system. There you can see UEFI firmware settings. Generally BIOS means, so you start your computer or restart your computer at system boot up, so you have to press the BIOS key. How you know the BIOS key? When you start your computer, it may show you the BIOS key. If you are missing it, then search in a Google, find out what is your BIOS key. Very olden days, we have a Dell as a BIOS key as a common for all the machines, but later it is changed. In some machines, F2, some machines, F10, F12, F11, F9, so many are there, except F8, most of the F things are there. Okay, mostly F2 or F12 are more common to go to the BIOS settings in a recent system. If you are using a laptop kind of stuff, there is a function key plus you can have to press the your function BIOS key. Okay, for my system, function key plus F2. Okay, so if you go to BIOS setting, you can do date and time, you can set the password, you can enable disable the hardware features, you can change the boot priorities. Okay, once you are done, you have to save and exit, then you can continue. Again guys, these BIOS
Sir,
passwords.
could you please explain enable disable hardware features virtual technology how it will work?
Yeah, this is different this no GPU mismatch detection, core multiprocessing, processor power management, Intel virtualization technology. So whenever you click it, so it will give you a menu, enable or a disable menu. So you have to select this option. Mouse won't work. You have to use the keyboard. If you once enter, then it will show, do you want to enable this feature or disable this feature? So I'm selecting enable feature. Okay, then this is enable. Depends upon your BIOS and motherboard. Get a enable disable. Not only that one, so any feature you want to enable or disable, I want to enable or disable. So I select it. Not only enabling, disabling guys, some are having numbers also, different numbers, number operating system versions, okay, bootable types, so we can able to change it. Just for our understanding of settings. Okay. Require settings as per your requirement and save and exit. Guys, always remember, you can also check the system configuration about CPU, RAM and hard disk or SSD configurations in it. Okay. So if you, for example, I will tell one enable, disable other feature. You can increase the CPU capacity also. We can, that is also possible. There is some features that is called overclocking. You buy a laptop from a like a with the operating system, or you buy a laptop from any outside of countries, their locking is system is also there. Yeah, that is enough. Yes, this is how to go to BIOS setting. What is this BIOS battery? Okay, guys, this battery is a lithium battery. The battery you are using here, lithium battery, it is a 3 volts lithium battery. This 3 volts lithium battery also called as a CMOS battery. What is CMOS battery? What is CMOS? Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. It is a transistor. CMOS is a transistor material. Okay, it is a combination of PMOS and NMOS, but it is a transistor. But battery is not transistor, right? So it is a lithium battery. Battery is a lithium battery. What is the use of this battery? It will produce a 3 volts and certain amps of power. So it is suitable for any chip. CMOS is a technology, guys. Remember, CMOS is a technology used to manufacture chips. Your BIOS chip, CPU, RAM, North bridge, South bridge, your all chips set, all computer chips are there na? On motherboard or off motherboard. Everything will be manufactured in a using a technology called as CMOS technology. Okay, CMOS technology is a transistor technology used to manufacture your your CPU, your BIOS, your RAM, manufactured with the technology only. These batteries support that chipset, that voltage level, it will be suitable. That's why it is called a CMOS battery. Okay, so a lot of people think the battery is made up of CMOS technology. No, CMOS technology is a chip manufacturing technology. The battery is lithium battery. What is the use of this lithium battery, guys? You have a BIOS chip. The BIOS chip, inside of your BIOS chip, you have a BIOS chip. In the BIOS chip, there is a data, mainly your changeable data, like a date and time. Okay. Second one is your enable, disable settings are there now. Your settings. Okay. So those things are, and BIOS passwords. These are a temporary data only. It means when you shut down your computer in the BIOS, what are the changes you are made it, all the data will be gone. It reset to the factory default. Factory default means when manufacturer put a what are the settings in there, the same settings will come back again. What are the changes you have done? What are the date and time is there? What are the changes you have done? What are the settings you have done, configuration you have done, password you are given? Everything will be clear once your system is down. So what to do? Every time you can't go and configure your CMOS battery, right? We don't do it. But how the data is still there? So because of this CMOS batteries, every day you are getting your date and time. CMOS battery, this CMOS battery or that lithium battery or BIOS battery will give power to your CMOS chip. The CMOS chip will continuously run. Even you shut down your computer, your CMOS chip is continuously runs. Okay, guys. So that is a CMOS battery. CMOS is a chip manufacturing technology. CMOS battery is or a BIOS battery is made up of lithium ion. Sorry, lithium battery. It is 3 volts lithium battery, which give power supply. This CMOS battery give power supply to your BIOS chip. CMOS battery give power supply to BIOS chip. Even if you are shut down your computer, CMOS chipset will still runs in the system because of CMOS battery. Last one, guys, in this part, the last one I think so. Boot processing I didn't tell, but I will tell you. You know, you go to the you have a computers like in a institute or a organization. You have a computers. Whenever you start a computer, it is showing CMOS check some error, CMOS check some bad, date and time not set kind of stuff. Okay, so what you done? So you press F1 to run the setup. Then you go to settings, BIOS settings. You change all the settings and start running. Everything is good, fine. And today work completed. You shut down the computer. Tomorrow you start a computer, again same error. So possibly guys, so possibly it is a your CMOS battery is dead. Power in the CMOS battery will be is completed. CMOS battery is dead. Okay, power in the CMOS battery is gone. That's why we are getting. Mostly we are getting CMOS checksum error, CMOS bad, checksum bad, date and time bad kind of stuff because of their battery is having low power or a battery is removed and reinserted. The battery is removed and reinserted. Okay, battery is does not having any power. In that cases, you are getting this one. What to do? Check the battery. Okay, make sure the power is there or not kind of stuff. Then reinstall the new battery. Reinstall the new battery. So in a previously when I was working in somewhere in our Pune office only, I seen this error is most common. Okay, so what I done? So then we purchase some batteries. These CMOS batteries, and we check system which system having this same problem CMOS battery problem. We replace the CMOS batteries. Now it is problem is solved. Guys, I think so. Understand? Of course, boot processing is left over. I will tell the boot processing, but there is a motherboard and SMPS is also there. Just relax a minute, 1 minute only. Okay, so I will be back. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we know motherboard, guys. Everybody knows motherboard. Already we discussed the motherboard. See, this is how motherboard is look like. So here where the CPUs go and RAM slots, AGP slots. AGP means graphic cards. That white bars are there now. That is 5 white bars are there now. That is PCI slots. Okay, now PCI. Sometimes some motherboards are getting with PCI or PCI X. If you like, you can insert a LAN card inside in PCI or audio cards. So special, you want additional audio cards kind of stuff. AGP cards are graphic cards. Okay, so SATA pin connectors, yeah, SATA connectors, ATX power connectors, RAM slots. You can see there. These are the RAM slots into the desktop. You can insert a RAM like that. It's a back panel connectivities like a PS by 2 mouse and a serial port connector, parallel port connectors. COM port means serial port connector. VGA means display, means for monitor connector. Okay, dual connector it is. You can dual connector it is. So dual, sorry, LAN port connector it is, and audio connectors, USB connectors are there. These are the different connectors used for a device connectivity. You know already LAN port, right? VGA port, USB port. Generally, everybody knows. Okay, this PS by 2 ports, round one, that is for a olden days keyboard mouse. Now it is remote, but still it is available in a certain motherboards, even new one. This is a new kind of motherboard it is. Okay, so new motherboards also having a HDMI port directly. Yes, SMPS, switch mode power supply. Switch mode power supply. You know, in our main power supply from our main in home sockets, we are getting a 220 volts AC power supply with 50 hertz frequency. If you take US will get a 110 volts 60 hertz frequency. So our sockets, we are getting only, we are getting 220 volts AC supply. But computer is a electronic component. Electronic devices require a DC power supply. So for your mobile, we are using battery. Battery is a DC power supply. Okay, you are charging your mobile phone using charger, right? That charger is converts AC to DC. Same way, our SMPS switch mode power supply also converts AC to DC with a different voltage levels, plus 12 volts, minus 12 volts, plus 5 volts, okay, plus 3.3 volts, and there is a ground. Each SMPS, each color wire, each color wire is represent a certain voltage. Okay, some voltage it is like plus 5 or plus 12 or minus 12 or a plus 3.3, or it is a ground wire. Okay, it's a PS on wire, like that kind of stuff. Power good signal one is also there. Power okay. So every SMPS is when you purchase, it shows as a watts or VA. 240, sorry, 400 VA or 450 watts, 500 watts or 600 VA, 650 VA. So different ways it will there. It is depends upon your system how much power is required internally, that much will take. Different connectors are there to connect your motherboard and other devices. Like you have a hard disk, direct power connectivity. You have to motherboard, there is a 24 pin connector. Additional connectors also there. 80, ATX type of connectors. Okay, these are the SM motherboard and SMPS. Yes, I will continue. Hard disk. See, this is a regular hard disk, guys. Hard disk is used to store your data. Secondary storage device. Hard disk is a secondary storage device. Hard disk store the data in the plotters. Can you see that disk round one? Data stores in that disk only. It's a magnetic material is there, magnetic coating is there. Data will be read and write on this disk. Okay. So it is a kind of mass storage device, huge amount of data we store. These hard disk having a different type of interfaces. Earlier IDE type, later it is PATA type of interface. Now we are using SATA type of interface hard disk. What is this PATA? SATA ATA means Advanced Technology Attachment. PATA Parallel Advanced Technology Attachment. SATA Serial Advanced Technology Attachment. PATA type of connectivities look like this one. It is a 40 pin connector is there for a hard disk, and there is a ribbon cable. Using ribbon cable you can connect hard disk to motherboard. If you are using a SATA 7 pin wire connectivity, so from hard disk to motherboard we can able to connect through this the red wire it is. Okay. Internal hard disk, either it is a laptop or hard disk, laptop or desktop, we have a internal hard disk. Now these internal hard disks are replaced with SSDs, but again 3.5-inch hard disk is there, 2.5-inch hard disk also there. Mostly 3.5 inches hard disk for a desktop purpose only, not for laptop purpose. 2.5-inch hard disk, internal hard disk for a laptops or a mini PCs. eMMC type of storage is also there. That is your EPC type of devices. Like you can try mini laptops. You can try to Google mini laptops. These mini laptops generally having a 32 GB or a 64 GB internal memory. Like your tabs and mobile phones are having internal memory, right? Your mobile phone having a 128 GB internal memory, 64 GB internal memory. Which memory it is? It is the memory storage devices eMMC. eMMC type of storages. They're not written here, somewhere I've written, I forgot. Here I've written. Okay, different storage devices. Okay, their types. Again, I'm going to, yes, external hard disk. Nowadays, people require a compulsory external hard disk. Why? Because of your internal storage is SSDs. Even it is SSD or a hard disk, you cannot store more data because daily data is increasing and important data always kept in a separately from your system. So external hard disk used for a backup purpose or a large amount of data you want to transfer. Okay, or you have a lot of amount of data you don't want to store in your PC, you want to store in separately, then also we use external hard disk. Okay. These are all there, MBR, GPT, so much there. Just I told about SSD, guys. Please read SSD also. Difference between SSD and a hard disk. And I will tell one more point, guys. Compared to PATA hard disk, SATA hard disk is faster. Compared to SATA hard disk, SSD is faster. Compared to SATA interface SSD, NVMe M.2 SSD is faster. Okay, this NVMe M.2 SSD is faster than a SATA SSD, but little costlier than it. Okay, and very important, guys. SSD interface hard disk or SATA interface hard disk or SSD, we have to connect with the wires generally for a desktop or anything. Okay, in laptop direct interface is there. There's some interfaces. You know how you insert a RAM, same way we can insert your SSD, that is NVMe M.2 type of SSDs directly insert on motherboard. That is plus one more point. So that is a one plus advantage because it is directly connected, means heavy data transmission is achieved. Low power consumption, high speed data transmission, very lightweight. Problem is only cost. Okay. So that is about your SSD part. Yes, guys, whatever it is, SSD or hard disk, when you are connected, so it will ask, do you want to initiate this hard disk as a MBR disk or a GPT disk? You want to configure this hard disk as a MBR type of disk or a GPT disk. If you configure as a hard disk as a MBR, so you can create maximum 4 primary partitions or a 3 primary, 1 extended partition. The partition size support up to 2 terabyte. Each partition we can create up to 2 terabyte. So again, MBR master board record, we can create 3 primary, 1 extended. In the extended, we can create a logical partitions. GPT GUID partition table, 128 primary partitions, no extended, no logical. So partition size is more than 2 terabyte or up to 18 EB. Don't worry guys, when you insert a hard disk, you should initialize as a MBR type or a GPT type. MBR type or a GPT type. So if it is a MBR type, if your hard disk is MBR type, then you can create 3 primary partitions and the 4th one is extended. In the extended, we can create a multiple logical drives. GUID partition table, 128 primary partitions you can create it. So you don't require any extended or logical partitions. Every partition, why we are creating a partitions? To store data, operating system, applications we store in a partition, regular data we store in different partitions, we do it. But to store the data, we need a file system. We need a file system. It is the file system, yeah. Different file systems are there, guys. In Windows, we use NTFS file system and FAT file system. Earlier, FAT is first, then NTFS is next. Okay. But now NTFS is first, FAT is optional. Okay, the FAT file system support up to 32 GB, NTFS is support more than 2 terabyte of size. NTFS having certain features like a security, encryption, compression, quota, and indexing. Okay, there is another file system called exFAT used for a SD cards. In Linux also we have a file system ext3, ext4, XFS kind of stuff. Network sharing, while you are sharing a data through network, so that is a sharing protocols are there and they're sharing file systems, NFS and CAFS file systems. Okay, so each and every device to store a data in it, so there is a file system. And FAT, NTFS, exFAT for your SD cards. Check your mobile phone. If you insert anything more than 32 GB memory card, more than 32 GB memory card, compulsory it format the memory card into exFAT. There is a last few 3 slides are there, guys. So those are all telling you about a boot processing with a very detailed troubleshooting view. But I'm not telling anything, just I'm telling about a basic boot processing. Then we'll close for today. Tomorrow again 10-15 classes there, guys. Okay, 10 or 10-15 tomorrow. So I will inform if in case any changes. Mostly 10-15. Okay. So if anybody is available tomorrow, please join. We'll discuss operating system and server operating system about a server services. Okay, and I will how much we can able to complete tomorrow. We'll complete. Possible full day or half day. Half day or full day, we'll decide tomorrow. If everybody be busy, also no problem, because whenever we conduct a session, there is a recording. At least some people missing, so they can use the recording. Okay. When PC is power on, user gets screen to. Sorry, what is the boot processing, guys? I start my computer after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, so I can start using my computer. Morning, I woke up at not woke up, I never slept in yesterday night. So yeah, slept at 4 o'clock. I woke up at 6:30. Okay, 7 o'clock, 6:30. I think 6:30 or 7. Full busy up to 11 o'clock today. Okay, so simple it is. When I reach at 9 o'clock, I start my laptop today. Okay, so when I power on the button, when I press the power button, after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I can start using computer. Usually our class morning 10:30. I was rushed. So if I reach office at a 10 o'clock or 10:20 at least, so immediately I open my laptop and start. Okay. So it will take 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Then I can able to use. Right. So that is the boot process. The step by step what is happened to your system when you power on your system to till you're able to use the system. What is happened to your system in step by step is called a boot processing. Okay, so whenever you press the power button, so power is distributed to your system, means your system components. Okay, they will respond whenever they got a power, they will respond it. So your system will understand your major components are working. So this is called a post, power on self test. The first step is power on self test. Once power on self test means post is successful, then your BIOS is first based on the okay from BIOS based on boot priority. It will try to tell where to find operating system devices. Okay, where operating which device having an operating system, which operating system contains which device contains operating system. So find out their MBR record. So your BIOS will tell where is the MBR record, master board record. Every device means every storage means every hard disk, either it is MBR type or GPT type. So we are talking in a BIOS manner. So it is a MBR. Okay, just only one word to avoid a confusion. Second step is finding a MBR record. MBR means master board record. What is this MBR record contains? What is a MBR record contains about your operating system bootloader? Your operating system bootloader. This bootloader are different from one operating system to another operating system. Windows XP time NTLDR, Windows 7 to till now, it is a boot MGR, Windows 7, 8, 10, 11, boot MGR only. Linux use grub as a bootloader. Okay. So again, what is the first step, guys? Post. What is the second step? Find an MBR. MBR will tell where is bootloader. Okay. Then load the bootloader. Find out MBR record, and from MBR record find out where is the bootloader. Then load the bootloader. Then bootloader will tell how to load operating system. Bootloader will tell how to load operating system. Then load the operating system. Once operating system is loaded, what is the first thing you will get it? Login screen, username, password. Give username and password. You will log into your PC. Then the background startups, services, applications will start. then you can start using your computer. Okay guys, can you able to remember the steps? First step is post, power and self test. Second one is find out MBR record. Where is MBR record based on boot priority? Okay, find out MBR record. MBR means master boot record. GUID partition table GPT. MBR or a GPT. GPT means GUID partition table. MBR master boot record. What is this record will tell you where is. Okay, MBR record tells where is your bootloader or what is your bootloader, where is your bootloader or what is your bootloader, and load the bootloader. Bootloader will tell how to load operating system. Okay, operating system loads in different modes. Safe mode, single user mode, multi-user mode, okay, full GUI mode. Okay, so operating system load. Okay, how to load operating system, which mode of operating system you have to load. Okay, fourth step is OS is loaded. Once loaded, then you got a login screen, you give username, password. Then what is the last step? It is the background startup services applications will start and run automatically. Now, no, sorry, not automatically. Now you can start using your computer. The final is your WordPress. I don't know. So I think that is enough for today. See, today's class 1 day completed.